have spent the best of these 2 years trying to understand the signals coming from Washington. And there are Washington watchers the way there were Moscow watchers during the Cold War. Now, for the most pro-European country, and the Poles might argue otherwise, but we consider ourselves the most pro-European country, what is it that we have to understand about Washington that has to do with us existentially? Because we feel we are existentially linked to Washington, to the United States.
You have to understand that the United States that existed, that you admired, that you wanted to imitate, L'America, it is not in power today. It's not that it doesn't exist. It exists. In my district of Columbia, 92% of us voted for Kamala Harris. We want to see a liberal democracy with equal individual rights. We don't want the Supreme Court deciding to eliminate all black members of Congress by allowing redistricting that's blatantly racist. Your America still exists in many, many places, but it's not in power. And it's the first time since World War II that a liberal democratic administration is not in power. Now, it's not that America was a great liberal democracy at the end of World War II. It wasn't. But it decided to make itself into one and to make Europe into liberal Democrats too. And it decided that first with the integration of the army in 1947, the integration of schools decided in 1954, the Voting Rights Act of 1964. So the liberal democratic America that you all love
is evolutive.
Is very recent.
Yeah.
It's very recent. And I lived as a teenager, basically, through the evolution of that America. It was a struggle. The notion that, there was a big march on Washington in 1963 that ended racial discrimination is complete nonsense. I mean, that was one moment in a very long struggle which continued for decades afterwards. Now we're seeing an attempt to restore a white supremacist Christian concept of America. And that's a very different America from the one you know. And the buttons that you're going to have to press diplomatically are quite different, especially because it's not that it's such a principled administration, it's a transactional one that responds to things like hiring its favorite lobbyists. And that's a very different Washington to operate in from the one that you're familiar with. I remember, I don't mean this as a criticism at all, but I remember one day I went to Heritage Foundation, which is a right-wing Republican foundation, but a definitively liberal democratic one. I mean, they're not Christian nationalists. And Vyosa Osmani, while she was president, gave a wonderful pro-liberal democratic speech. And I couldn't help but think, what, when they hear this in the White House, do they understand it at all? Do they appreciate it? I mean, they're behaving antithetically to this every day in domestic American politics. How can they support it abroad? And I don't mean that as criticism of her. She was a really good defender of Kosovo's interests in Washington. But I think you have to learn to press these other buttons. And to her credit, she did with the Board of Peace. And that's the kind of thing you're going to have to do. And you're going to have to be transactional in how you deal with the Americans. You want us to do something? You do this for us.